Hello, I'm Jessie, and this is the Animation Story channel. I hope you subscribe to the channel. The story of our movie begins with King Simba. He was standing on a rock, speaking to all the animals and telling them about what he plans to do and the changes he intends to make in the jungle. At that moment, we see Simba's wife, Nala, in a distant forest. She was scared and calling out for Simba, hoping that he would hear her and come to rescue her. Soon after, some animals went to Simba and told him they had found Nala's location. Simba was very happy at that moment and went to Timon and Pumbaa, asking them to take care of his daughter, Kiara, until he returned. Timon and Pumbaa then followed his instructions and went to spend time with Kiara, keeping an eye on her until Simba came back. During that time, Timon and Pumbaa kept lying to Kiara, telling her stories that were all false. One of these stories was that Timon and Pumbaa were the ones who killed Scar, Simba's uncle. Kiara surprised them by saying they were lying, and that she knew her father, Simba, was the one who killed Scar. Timon and Pumbaa denied it, asking her who told her that. Kiara replied that Simba was the one who told her, and she also said that their story was a lie, because it was impossible for a warthog and a meerkat to kill a lion. At that moment, Timon and Pumbaa felt embarrassed, because Kiara had exposed them. After that, Timon and Pumbaa changed the subject and took Kiara to play with her. But shortly after, the monkey Rafiki went to the cave where Kiara was to check on her. Of course, as soon as Kiara saw him, she was very happy and asked Rafiki to tell her a true story, because she was tired of the lies that Timon and Pumbaa were telling her. At that moment, the monkey decided to tell her the story of her grandfather, Mufasa. He told her that a long time ago, her grandfather Mufasa was a young cub traveling with his mother, father, and the whole herd of animals to a new land because their land had been destroyed by drought. After a long journey, they finally arrived at a land with water, and everyone was very happy. Even the animals were playing in the water. But unfortunately, shortly after, the animals began to hear a strange sound, and Mufasa's father didn't know what the sound was, or where it was coming from. Suddenly, the river they were drinking from began to swell and turned into a dangerous flood. Sadly, at that moment, Mufasa didn't notice, and the flood came upon him. He didn't know how to swim and was about to drown. But as soon as his father saw him, he rushed to the river to save his son. Before his father could reach him, Mufasa managed to climb onto a rock, and his mother encouraged him to jump from the rock to reach her on the other side. Unfortunately, Mufasa didn't get the chance to do that because there was a huge elephant drowning in the water, and the current was pulling him towards Mufasa. At that moment, the elephant took Mufasa, and they fell into the waterfall, with the water pulling them far away. After a while, Mufasa woke up, but found himself in a strange land he had never seen before. At first, Mufasa was scared, holding onto a tree trunk, wanting to reach the land. When he looked around, he saw a small cub, and Mufasa asked him to help him get out of there. The cub laughed at him, introduced himself as Taka, and Mufasa welcomed him, asking again for his help to get out. Taka told him that, unfortunately, he couldn't help him, and they learned that the river was full of crocodiles. Those crocodiles would surely finish him off. Indeed, at that moment, the crocodiles began to appear and surrounded Mufasa, deciding to attack him. Fortunately, Taka's mother arrived at the last moment, scared the crocodiles away, and rescued Mufasa from the water. After Taka's mother made sure Mufasa was okay, she told him he needed to leave because that land belonged to them. If any lions saw him, they would finish him off. Taka refused her words and told his mother that they couldn't leave Mufasa there and had to take him with them to the herd. Taka's mother refused and told him that the herd's laws did not allow them to adopt stray lions. At that moment, Mufasa replied, saying he was not a stray lion. He also explains to her that he has a family and is lost from them. After that, Mufasa asks Mama Taka to help him and try to get him back to his family. Mama Taka tells him that he came from the river, which leads to very distant lands, and his land is likely one of those. The distance between their current location and where he belongs would take about 30 days to reach. At that moment, Mama Taka sees no other choice and decides to take Mufasa with her to her herd. As soon as they arrive, Papa Taka sees her, and we learn at this point that the lion, Papa Taka, is the king of the herd. When he sees Mufasa, he shouts at Mama Taka and says, "How could you bring a strange lion to the herd?" When Mama Taka tries to explain, the lion refuses to negotiate, saying that the matter is settled and they will get rid of Mufasa right now. Taka then rejects his father's words and tells him that Mufasa is just like them, and there's no problem if he lives with them in the herd. Papa Taka responds that this is not acceptable because Mufasa is not of their blood, and surely when he grows up, he will betray them since he is a stray lion. Mufasa replies, saying he is not a stray lion at all, and introduces himself, stating that his name is Mufasa and that his father rules another land. The lion becomes angrier and tells Mufasa that his name means King of the Jungle, and here there is no king but him. The lion also advises Mufasa that it would be best for him to run away to stay alive. At that point, Mufasa bravely responds, saying, "I could easily run away from you because I am very fast, and no lion can catch me." Mufasa's words annoy the king lion, who then calls for his son Taka and tells Mufasa that he will race against Taka, and if Taka beats him, he will get rid of him himself. At that moment, Mama Taka intervenes and tells the king lion that if Mufasa wins, she will raise him herself, and no one will be able to remove him from the herd again. The lion sees no other option and agrees to his wife's suggestion. After a little while, the race begins between Mufasa and Taka. However, at the start of the race, Papa Taka hits Mufasa to delay him until Taka can catch up. Mama Taka tells him not to do that because it's cheating and reminds him that her son must win honorably without anyone helping him. The lion responds that her words are meaningless and explains that he is doing it for the sake of their family because he wants to get rid of Mufasa, so that when Taka grows up, he will be the king of the jungle. We then see the race taking place between Mufasa and Taka. During the race, Mufasa trips and falls into the river. At that moment, he remembers what happened to him when he was with his mother and father and fell into the river. Because Mufasa was delayed, Taka got far ahead, but Mufasa returned to continue the race. Mufasa tried to outrun Taka, but the surprise came when Taka slowed down and told Mufasa that he didn't want to win. He explained that if he did, their father, the king, would finish him off. Mufasa was surprised and asked Taka what he wanted. Taka revealed that he wanted Mufasa to let him win because he was lonely and wanted a brother. If Mufasa let him win, he would be able to live with them in the pride, just as Taka's mother had said. Indeed, shortly after, Mufasa was the first to reach the dead tree. When the king saw him, he got very angry, but at that point, there was nothing he could do because Mufasa was officially the winner and would live with them in the pride. Taka's mother would raise him herself. The king said to Taka's mother that he would not finish Mufasa off, but he had one condition. Mufasa must be raised among the females and not with the males. The king wanted Mufasa to grow weak and wanted his son Taka to be much stronger so that he could take his place as king. Years passed and Mufasa grew up to be a strong lion. One day, Taka, his mother, and Mufasa went hunting when they were attacked by strange lions from another pride. Taka and his mother were terrified upon seeing these lions, as this type was only found in the snowy regions. Their fur was white, and they were enormous. Out of fear, Taka abandoned his mother and Mufasa, quickly fleeing the scene. When the strange lions surrounded Taka's mother, Mufasa did not hesitate. He bravely charged at the lions and killed one of them. The pride of white lions, upon seeing Mufasa's strength, fled in fear. Once things calmed down, Mufasa picked up Taka's mother and brought her back to the pride. When the king asked what had happened, Taka's mother replied that if it weren't for Mufasa, she would have been dead. Mufasa also told the king that he was very surprised because it was the first time he had seen lions like that in his life. The king asked about the lions and told Mufasa to tell him everything he knew about them. Mufasa described their large size and suggested that they were likely close and would attack soon. The Lion King responded saying, "Your words are wrong. It's impossible to know when they will attack." Mufasa suggested sending a scout from their pride to confirm that his words were true. Indeed, after that, the scout went and confirmed that Mufasa was right. The pride of white lions was enormous and was planning to take over the entire land. At that moment, we saw the king of the white lions killing the lion who had failed to kill Mufasa. Unfortunately, we learned that the lion Mufasa killed was the son of the king of the white lions. When the scout learned all this, he quickly fled to King Taka's father and informed him that Mufasa was correct. He also told him that the lion Mufasa killed was indeed the son of the king of the white lions, who would not rest until he finished off all of them due to what Mufasa had done. When Taka's father asked the scout about the size of those lions, the scout replied that they were enormous and numerous. The news frightened the Lion King even more, so he told the scout to leave while he thought of a solution regarding the white lions. The following day, Taka's mother and his father began preparing their pride to face the white lions. Unfortunately, Taka's mother knew that the entire pride would perish. At that point, she took Taka and Mufasa and told them to flee to a distant land and start a new life there. However, Mufasa refused at that moment and told Mama Taka that he wouldn't leave them in this situation. They had to fight together. Mama Taka got angry and told Mufasa that this was not his land and they were not his family. To reach his true family, he had to keep walking toward the sun, and surely, after a while, he would reach his homeland where his real mother and father were. Mama Taka shouted at Mufasa, saying this to protect him, because if the white lions came, they would finish them all off. Eventually, Mufasa finally believed her words, took Taka, and they began their journey to reach the land of honor, the place where his family was. After a few days, Mufasa and Taka were surprised to see a herd of white lions chasing them. Mufasa realized that the white lions had wiped out the entire herd and were now pursuing him and Taka to finish them off. After a long chase, the herd of white lions caught Mufasa and Taka. Before they attacked, Mufasa told them that Taka was innocent and that he was the one who killed the lion. If they wanted revenge, they should take it out on him. The king of the white lions rejected Mufasa's words, saying that his son was dead, and in light of his son's death, both of them would die. To try to save Taka, Mufasa took him and jumped into the river. The current swept them far away from the herd of white lions. When Mufasa and Taka emerged from the river, they found themselves in a new land. In this land, there seemed to be animals they had never seen before. Mufasa spotted a monkey approaching him, and we learned that this monkey is his friend Rafiki, who is telling us the story. When Rafiki asked Mufasa where he was going, Mufasa explained that he was heading to the land of honor, his homeland. Rafiki expressed his desire to go there too and offered to go with Mufasa. Indeed, Mufasa, Rafiki, and Taka started a new journey to reach the land of honor. After a few days, they arrived at a land full of animals. Mufasa asked if he could join them and continue the journey with them. Unfortunately, the herd of white lions managed to track Mufasa down. This time, Mufasa didn't want to run away like before. He told Taka that they had to attack them and finish them off, as they couldn't spend their whole lives running away. Taka told him to wake up and realize that they were just two, while the others were a full herd, and they would surely finish them off. Mufasa tried to reassure Taka, saying he would try to convince the elephants to fight alongside them in their battle against the white lions. However, when Mufasa tried to do this, all the elephants refused, and none of them agreed to help him. At that moment, Mufasa, Taka, and Rafiki decided to flee, taking with them a lioness named Sarabi, whom Mufasa loved and had planned to marry as soon as he reached his homeland. After a short while, winter set in, and the desert turned to snow. One day, Taka went out to hunt something for them to eat. At that moment, the herd of white lions managed to catch up with him. The king of the white lions decided to seize the opportunity and told Taka that everything they were experiencing was because of Mufasa, as he had killed his son. In return, he had killed Taka's entire family. After a while, the king of the white lions managed to change Taka's mind and made a deal with him, Taka would deliver Mufasa to him, and in return, no one would kill Taka. He would be allowed to join their herd. Without thinking, Taka agreed to this offer. The White Lion King promised that he would hand over Mufasa. Shortly after, Taka returned to the cave where Mufasa was hiding. Mufasa was surprised that Taka was late and asked him where he had been. Taka lied and told him that he was trying to hunt something for them to eat. Mufasa believed him, and the day passed. The next day, they all woke up early to continue their journey to the land of Pride. On the way, Taka was leaving marks on the rocks so that the pride of white lions could easily find them. After a few days, Mufasa was shocked to see the pride of white lions surrounding them. At that moment, Mufasa asked their king how they had managed to find them. The pride leader told Mufasa that Taka had betrayed him and revealed his location. He also informed him that Taka had fulfilled his part of their agreement and that now Taka was one of them. Mufasa was stunned by what he heard and said to Taka, "We are brothers. How could you betray me?" Taka replied that his family and pride had all died because of Mufasa, and now he had to die just like his pride had. Before Mufasa could respond or justify himself, the king of the white lions attacked him, striking him savagely. When Mufasa thought that the king was about to finish him off, he was surprised to hear the king say that he wouldn't kill him just yet. Instead, he would keep chasing him to make him live in constant fear until he died from it. Seizing the opportunity, Mufasa quickly escaped from the king of the white lions. After that, Mufasa decided to seek revenge and went to a strange land, asking the animals there to help him in his battle against the white lions. However, the animals initially refused. Mufasa and Sarabi began to rally them, telling the animals that if the pride of white lions defeated them today, they would return and wipe out all the animals. At that moment, the wild buffalo understood Mufasa's words and agreed to join him in the battle. When the other animals saw what the buffalo had done, they decided to help Mufasa as well and join him in the fight. The next day, the battle began between all the animals and the white lions. The fight was intense, and in the midst of it, the king of the white lions charged at Mufasa, aiming to kill him. A fierce battle ensued between Mufasa and the king, and by the end, they both fell into the river. Fortunately, a large rock fell on the king of the white lions, drowning him in the river, while Mufasa managed to escape. Thus, he was free from the revengeful king. All the animals were proud and happy for winning their battle against the white lions. From that moment on, they felt secure, as they now had a strong and brave king to protect them. Suddenly, while they were celebrating, Mufasa saw his mother. At first, she didn't recognize him and spoke to him as if he were the king, saying that she once had a son named Mufasa, who unfortunately fell into the river, and she hadn't heard anything about him since. Mufasa surprised her by saying that he was her son. After they embraced, Mufasa asked about his father. His mother informed him that his father had passed away a while ago, and since then, the animal kingdom had been without a king, moving from place to place. Mufasa reassured his mother, saying that from today, everything would change. As Mufasa looked around, he saw Taka approaching, injured in his eye. The remaining group of white lions sought revenge on him because they couldn't defeat Mufasa. They had captured him, beaten him, and injured his eye. However, all the animals rejected Taka's presence and told Mufasa that he must banish him and not let him live among them. Mufasa refused, telling them that Taka was his brother and they were raised together. Mufasa then went to Taka and told him to forget his real name, revealing that from now on, he would be called Scar. Taka was surprised and asked Mufasa why he would have such a name. Mufasa explained that Scar means a wound or a scar, referring to the injury on Taka's eye that the white lions had inflicted. His intention behind the name was for Taka to always remember his betrayal and never forget what he had done. At that moment, Taka agreed to Mufasa's words so he could live among the pride, as he had no other place to go. If he tried to leave Mufasa, the white lions would not spare him and would seek revenge. From that day on, Taka forgot his name, and he became known as Scar. Afterward, Mufasa ruled the jungle justly. He married Sarabi and later had a son, Simba. This is the story that the monkey Rafiki tells Kiara about her grandfather, King Mufasa, and his brother Scar. Kiara, Timon, and Pumbaa were very happy to hear this story, as it was the first time they had ever heard it. If you have reached this point, I hope you subscribe to the channel and give it a like. See you in the next episode. Bye!